Hello, back again. This is just going to be a quick little video just to talk about just a little experiment I'm trying out to try and add a nice little effect to the tabletop when you're playing a game. Obviously, when you're playing the game, one of the things you can use to indicate a ship has fired is a little bit of teddy bear fur, teddy bear stuffing, kapok or whatever they call it. You can put that down next to a ship, and yeah, that looks reasonably good. Gives you a nice little billowing smoke effect. But what it's missing is the flashes from the broadsides of the guns. So I have been playing around, and so what I've found is I've got some of these. These are little tea lights that you find in restaurants and things. Very simple, just an LED, just a diode, lighted LED with a battery, and then it will just flicker. So I basically thought I'll take one of these and I will convert it into a sort of like a broadside marker. So first thing you do is essentially cut into these. So they're actually fairly brittle, hard plastic. So you have to be a little bit careful when you're cutting, especially if you're using. You don't want to be using a scalpel. It's just you're gonna end up cutting yourself. So I used a small sort of hacksaw blade to cut all the way around, and then that pulls the top off. And then you're left with the base, and I've got one here which I sort of dismantled to sort of give you an idea of what it's like inside. So there's like a little bit of silicone that covers over the top, which is kind of like a diffuser to just make the light a bit bigger than it is. It kind of magnifies the light at the same time as diffusing it. So it's a little LED. There's a simple switch, and then the battery, your standard sort of CR2032 watch battery. So they go into position, and then let's see if I can get this to work. I've probably just dismantled it too much. I get my little scalpel here. You can see the little switch. Push that in, and there you go. It's flashing. So this was one I tried to dismantle a lot to see what was the bare minimum I needed to get it to function, but I think I ended up taking a bit too much off. So anyway, this is what I've ended up with. So I've basically produced a base. So I've done a C base, same way I've done my bases on my ships. So that's with the texture paste and the paint. I haven't finished painting this yet, but you can see I've essentially epoxy glued the base to the card and cut out a little area there so I can turn the switch on and off. I haven't made it so you can change the battery, because the reality is the battery is probably going to last for a donkey's years, but these things are really cheap, so you can always I think you can get a box of about 20 of these or something for not many dollars off eBay. They're pretty cheap, these, to pick up. So I've essentially glued it onto the base, then I've done a texture C base, so I will eventually finish painting that and doing the whites and the highlights, and then finishing with a gloss varnish. And then when you turn the switch on, you can see it's diffusing, and that will sit next to the ship. You know, I would have preferred to have that a lot lower down, closer to the water, just to make it a bit level, but I think it looks okay. And then the last step is just that you would essentially glue into place some of this teddy bear fur, which I'll do with some epoxy glue or super glue or something to basically just hold it in place. And then you'll get this nice broadside effect, which will, most gamers these days like to chronicle their games with photographs, so it would be a nice way to get some nice photographs of a broadside in action. So yeah, it's just a quick little experiment. If it works, if it looks okay, I'll probably make more of them. And then also for not just naval wargaming, for land battles with like 28mm figures, you can essentially use the same technique, but obviously instead of doing a sea base, you'll do an earth base with some flock and all that on it, and then you can put that in front of your Napoleonic regiment or your pike and shot regiment, or you could even put it in front of something like a Pack 40 if it's a World War II gun or something like that. You can use exactly the same effect to simulate firing in your land war games. And I think some of these things are sold commercially. They're probably a bit better because, like I said, they're probably lower down. But for not many dollars, you can essentially produce one in with these little tea lights. So, like I said, it's just an experiment. We'll see what it looks like. If I do a few of them, we'll see how it looks like in the middle of the game. It might be a bit too big. I don't know. I know that when these ships fire broadside, they do produce a hell of a lot of smoke, so maybe it's not unrealistic. But yeah, anyway, thought I'd just quickly post a video of that so you can maybe do something similar yourselves. All right, thanks for that. I'll speak to you again. Bye-bye.